Bear with me, having a little bit of technical difficulties this morning. I think that should do it. There we go. Hello everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Shel. My name is Shel Anderson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I do short lunch break with Shel video tutorials Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Standard Time. And I also do Wednesday night stamp therapy videos at 6:30 Central Time. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today we are going to be having a play with the Dots and Spots dies and the Fragrant Flowers stamp set. We're also going to be using an Old Olive Dark and a Polished Pink Dark Stampin' Blend. Of course, some Memento Black ink. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not, but I've chosen some of the red and green ribbon. I'm using the red. You're going to need some paper snips and, of course, some cardstock. I have cut a bunch of 1/4-inch strips of cardstock, and I have cut a Daffodil Delight card base for our card today. Something bright and cheery happening here today. Get us out of those winter blues and into the bright and cheery colors of spring. For the inside of our card, I have a piece of basic white cardstock. And we are just going to pop that on the inside. And that's all we're going to do to that card base right now, because the star of the show for this card is going to be the front. And we are, I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. We are going to be using this gorgeous die cut. I've run this through with black cardstock. And we are simply going to create a pattern by gluing these, get my glue going here, these strips of different colored cardstock onto the back side, covering the holes. If that makes any sense. And then when we are complete, we will have different colored lines of holes across our front panel. Won't that be cool? All right, so I'm just going to, I know this is going to be a little bit time consuming, so I'll do this as quickly as I can. And if you'll notice, I'm just putting the excess to, oops, I almost did it on the paper. That would be bad. I'm just putting the excess to one side, so I only have one side to trim. Trying to think ahead a little bit here. There we go. Make sure we're covering those holes. And red next. I've had this die for a while and haven't used it, so I thought it was time I dusted it off. All right, we are going to go back to turquoise. You can use whatever color scraps you have in your scrap bin. That's what I did. I mean, you could do it subtle, you could do it bright like I chose, you could do it all neutrals. There's a million different ways you could do this. I'm doing these all across. We could do them on the diagonal. I chose to go across because most of my strips that I had in my scrap bin were small. So I didn't want to have to cut cardstock. But what a great way to get rid of some of these scraps, eh? And I'm just repeating the pattern all the way up. Next up is red. Sorry, this one's a little time consuming, but I think, I haven't thought this all the way through. You know how I fly by the seat of my pants. I don't know what else I'm doing on the front of the card is what I'm trying to get at, but I think when we're done, it's going to be really cool. Trying to save some time here. I got 2 rows done at the same time here. I think that worked pretty well. I think I'll try that again. Now I need green, then red. Let's get our strips ready. There's the green and the red. All right, 2 more to go. Now we need pink. No, we need turquoise. Then pink. I almost messed up my own pattern. Turquoise and then pink. Here we go. Ready for the reveal? Ooh, cool. Check that out. Oops, this one is not in the right position. Let me get some more glue on here. I'll just any more. Oh, yeah, there's one more here. This green one is not quite right. There we go. Beautiful. All right, now I'm going to grab my snips. Actually, I think I'm going to grab these great big long scissors. And cut those excess pieces off. There we go. Beautiful. Now let's get rid of all these little sticky pieces of cardstock. and this sticky silicone mat. Isn't that pretty? Love it. All right, let's get this onto our card. Oh, even that's pretty. Not even, but pretty. All right, I am going to get my bigger bottle of, actually here's one right here. Bigger bottle of Tombow here, maybe. And I am going to be very generous on the back of this. Those corners good. And we will get this onto the front of our card. And the only problem that I have is that this die, when I cut it to make the cardstock even, as you can see, is just a wee bit smaller than the card front. And because of the holes in it, you cannot cut it to almost a little bit more. Now, just a little bit off the back. Oops, not enough. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Now, got a little tiny there. Isn't that pretty? All right, now we're going to decorate our card. And I have a bunch of punches and die cuts here. I stamped the word hello from the Fragrant Flowers using the Memento black ink. And then I did one of the decorative circle punches. And then I did a 2.5 inch circle. Oh, and this one was from the Stylish Shapes dies. So I'm just repeating the colors that are already in the card. So we have that. And then I had a little tiny piece of the polished pink left. So what I did is I just colored a little flower. And because I stamped it on polished pink, as you can see, that Old Olive did not do the job on those leaves. So I'm going to come back in with a shaded spruce. You can still see the pink through. So I'm just going to use the shaded spruce to darken up those leaves. And I also think I'm going to go around the edges because that pink is showing a little bit there. There we go. All right. Now, I also have a little greeting here, a little greeting tag here that I could have used. This is what my first thought was, but I didn't. So those will go back into my bits box. I have a few of these little strips left. So those will go back into my scrap bin. And we just need to figure out how we're going to put this together. This is kind of my idea. Something like that. Or we could flip it this way. Put it off to the side this way. Now I think I like it vertical. Let's grab some dimensionals, because everything's better with dimensionals. And we'll put a couple on the flower and 3 on the back of our greeting. We'll just get those paper backings off of there. And I'm just going to pop this somewhere about there. And then same thing with the flower. Just making sure those dimensionals are on the cardstock, not on the already raised piece. All right, let's bring in some of this red ribbon. I don't think I want to cover this up. Or do I? No, I think I just want a bow. Let me give this a whirl and we'll have a look and see. Nothing says we have to use this, but we can give it a try. All right. You know, I think I'm just going to cut this off. I think I am going to pop this in here, make sure it's flat. I think I am going to put a strip down here. I need some tear and tape because I want this to be in position. Now, where is my take your pick tool? Oh, paper piercer will do just as good. And I'm going to put this ribbon down that tape. And I'm going to cut it off flush. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. And then we'll put our bow over the join. There we go. Bring out some of that red that is in the card. There we go. Now that'll stay nice and flush. And we'll get some glue dots to attach our bow. There we go. I put a couple there. And we will press our little bow right in there. And now maybe a little bit off this one. There we go. Now I'm going to put a little glue dot underneath the tails of that bow so that it stays in position. Whoops, missed it. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's find some embellishments. I think I'm going to use some pearls. I don't use pearls very often, but on this black cardstock, those pearls will show up beautifully. There we go. That, my friends, is our card for today. Isn't that pretty? So that's just an idea of what you can do with the dots and spots die. This is what it looks like. A big one-piece die. And that's just gluing strips onto the backside of the cardstock, I guess, and just decorating it up. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you back again here Tuesdays and I forgot when I was on. Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Time, and Wednesday nights at 6:30. Bye-bye for now.